Broadcasting to you live from the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, somewhere outside of Cleveland, Ohio. But we got the win. I know it was against Miami Dolphins, but still, a win is a win. This is Strictly Football here on the Unhappy Hour, brought to you by the New American Media. We're going to take a look back at last week, and we're going to look forward to the upcoming week. But of course, we got to address the elephant in the room. And I bet you've heard about this story today. So let's buckle up and get ready for our episode today. Oh, where's it at? It's in a different folder. The Unhappy Hour. There it is, the Strictly Football intro show. It begins right now.
I'm Aaron Metcalf, and you're watching Unhappy Hour.
New American Media is proud to present a division of the Unhappy Hour sports show, Strictly Football.
It's the Unhappy Hour.
Thank you all for being here. I'm going to pour a little bit of my drink out, theoretically, hypothetically, figuratively, for our brother Ez'Ryel Robinson, who is under the weather, not feeling so great today. So we're going to roll 3 deep instead of 4, bringing in our first person, Michael Bara in Jigba. Welcome, sir. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. Had a good day today. Stretching out a little bit, going to stretch lab, getting this whole body in shape, and ready to kick a little ass in the game picking department. Especially without Izzy here, who was kind of the dog on my tail.
Yeah. By the way, Stretch Lab, I've heard about this. I go to a chiropractor once every 3 weeks, about once a month. How Stretch Lab is pretty good. How long is the session last?
It's we can get 50 minutes, or I believe 20 minutes is the option. I really think ideally the 50 minutes on Friday and the 20 minutes on Tuesday or Wednesday would probably be a good thing. But that's a little expensive. It gets pretty pricey. But I had a good experience. I felt looser ever since. So, and tomorrow I go back for my second one. So we'll see how it goes.
That's great. If you've never done the chiropractor, or if you haven't in a while, the thing that I've been doing, they put that thing around your head and they do the stretch like the accordion, the manual traction adjustment. Oh, it was like the first time I could breathe in 20 years. It went, and every one of these lifted apart.
Yeah.
Well, good to have you. I know you were traveling last week, and how that impacts all of us. Got to boost on the mectin and the C, the D, the zinc, and all that stuff. I told Izzy, he's like, "Yeah, I'm doing vitamin C." I said, "You got to get zinc, you got to get D, you got to get the K." But
you got to get the ivermectin. Sorry, but you do.
Yes, people like the mectin. People like
any
it.
Virus that you have.
Yeah, I guess I probably need to get a good source for that. So we'll talk after that. We don't have a sponsor for that, but maybe we could work on that. That'd be a good thing to have. Jim Mitchell in Jigba, how are you today, sir? Welcome back.
I am good, sir. I am good. Now that we got these computer glitches fixed. So
I know we had ghosts in both of our machines, it seems. You are usually someone who rocks a fun, fancy shirt. Who do you have on there today? Who do you got?
I got Mr. Wolf.
Ah.
Okay, I don't know what that shirt means, but
I think that's from Reservoir Dogs. Wait, or from Pulp Fiction. The Wolf?
Affirmative.
There we go. Excellent. Well, thank you all for being here. This is Strictly Football. Leave your comments on the side. Hit like, hit subscribe. Thank you all for joining us. I guess, gentlemen, elephant in the room. This is an NBA story, but we cover the gambling lines. We cover betting trends, and we'll get to our Jim Mitchell betting trends in a moment. You can find him on Mike's X feed. That's seahawkboymikeb and or Mike Bara 333 on X. And then, of course, find it at the Unhappy Hour and TNAM Football over for our side as well. Mike, let's start with you. What do you make of this massive I'm trying to remember all the numbers off the top of my head. Multiple months, multiple years, 11 different people, 10 different states. I'm losing track of all the ingredient mixtures here, but there's an ongoing problem with gambling in the NBA, but I suspect this goes to every league. And I think I tagged you earlier because we talk about the Chiefs net zero penalties. You look at the Chiefs compared to everyone else, and it's like, tell us about your thoughts on the NBA and then how it relates to the NFL in your mind.
Well, it relates because all the sports have become completely corrupt. I mean, again, we'll go back to, and I will review this. I'll share with you in a sec. In fact, I'm gonna share the screen right now, so you can bring it up in a second.
Okay.
But let me go do that. But it's no surprise that NBA players are throwing games. And it's no surprise that games are rigged by the mob and by various, look, what do you expect to happen when you get in bed with the gambling sites? That's what the NFL's done. It's what, it's what the NBA has done. The NBA players are obviously corrupt. These guys, here's the thing. Here's a guy playing in a league where the minimum salary in the NBA, I think, is $2 or $3 million a year now. It used to be 20 years ago, it was $1 million. And they're throwing games for more money. Talk about greedy jerks, bastards. Come on, that's just disgusting. And it's the same situation in the NFL. So it does relate because it does translate over. We have situations like the Kansas City game we talked about last week, the ridiculous calls there where they at New York called down, and we now have proof they finally admitted. Dan Campbell said that they told him that New York made that call to overturn that touchdown that the Lions had, which, people say, they won by 30, they won by, 10 or 15 points anyway, 10, 12 points anyway. But the reality is that they 11.8 million per player, and that's not enough money. You still cheat. The reality is that a call like that, which takes points away from another team, changes the momentum of the game. And then you had the Seahawks game on Monday night, where you had one of the most incredible calls I've ever seen in my life. They said that this is not a safety. Watch this play. This is CJ Stroud getting chased by, I believe, Lieutenant Nwosu of the Seahawks. And this is a safety. Watch it. He's running back.
Yeah, that knee goes right into the end zone.
But the knee goes in, as does the ball. It's not down until right here. Where's the ball? That's 1,000% a safety.
Yeah, that ball's way far, even deeper into the end zone. On top of it.
Somebody from New York called in and took that 2 points off the board for the Seahawks, which ultimately did not affect the outcome of the game, but it did. It could have. Seriously could have affected the outcome of the game. They claimed forward progress. What forward progress? He was running backwards.
Yeah, that was.
He was running backwards. There is no way you can justify that call. And it's time we go past. They blew this call or they missed this call. They are intentionally calling games to affect the outcome on orders from league headquarters. And I think what's happened with the NBA is it's been exposed. Maybe this will lead to the complete corruption. We just had Roger Goodell today, once again, doubling down on Bad Bunny, a Mexican faggot, for the halftime show. Doesn't even speak English. For the halftime show of the most American game, the Super Bowl. Roger Goodell, please God, let him be involved in a whole bunch of corruption, because it's time to expose these people and send them to jail. Apologies for the language, but not really.
Jim, take it away.
There's a lot of, let me just say, there's a lot of reasons that professional games are thrown. And the addressing the elephant in the room, you can say, these guys are making millions of dollars, and I'm going to the NBA here. I'm not talking about the NFL right now. The one that was implicated was primarily, from what I saw on Fox today, was Terry Rozier.
Oh yeah.
And you can say these guys are making millions of dollars. Why are they doing this? Are they greedy?
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of motivation as to why somebody would do this. I mean, there's threats to bodily harm.
Yep.
There's favors done in the past where you would have to repay that favor.
Yep.
There's threats to your family.
And by the way, that's been a vastly underreported component of the conversation that nobody talks about, why you don't let 40 million unchecked people into your country. You all owe a cartel member a favor. You're forever under the thumb of somebody that, hey, I did a solid for you. You're on my payroll for life, buddy. Don't you ever forget who did you that solid. Nobody talks about that. But I remember Jose Ramirez talked about all the gangs back when he was in, I forget which, but Dominican Republic or exactly where he came from. And that Cleveland Indians had the Guardians had 2 players get suspended probably for life for throwing games as well.
Perfect example.
Yep.
Perfect example.
Cross sports, not just basketball. This is going to go everywhere, I think.
I mean, my last 3.5 years on the department, I worked the organized crime unit here in Las Vegas. Did we have our hands full? Yes. Yeah, we did. Were we busy? Yes, we were busy. I mean, I didn't personally. I mean, the unit I was in was a surveillance unit, and there were only 7 of us on that squad out of the whole department. But it was very interesting what we saw. We weren't a member of any type of arrest team. All we did was document crimes that we saw through telephoto lenses, through recordings, via warrant. And we disseminated that information within the organized crime unit. But as far as actually hands-on arrests, I wasn't involved in that type of enforcement. But did the 7 of us see a lot? Yes, we did. Yes, we did. And those were just, it's like Don Ohlmeyer said, the answer to all your questions is money. Yeah. And it's not that these guys are making millions of dollars a year playing basketball or playing football or playing hockey. Somebody has them under their thumb. That's usually the answer.
Yeah, and if you watch here that he wasn't even trying to hide it, Emmanuel Clase, I can't play you the clip, but it's just showing how many of his first pitch balls they weren't even remotely close, and that's what they ended up taking him out for, was that they were able to rig it that way. Terry Rozier, they're saying that they were able to find out that he was betting on himself to do the under, and then I have an ankle injury. After a few minutes, you just go down and you make sure that the under happens. And people were getting paid, and they're sending text messages to each other, and they're counting the money, the winnings at his house that day, according to some of the reports I'm reading. None of this is verified. It's day one. You have a 72-hour rule before you come to any hard conclusions on any story. 72 hours in, we're all just gathering data here. But I mean,
it wasn't so much right. It wasn't so much a team total bet. It was a prop bet,
right?
An innocuous prop bet that he thought would not be caught.
Yes. And Mike, that kind of goes back to the story you've talked about. How many times have you done the deep dives on the Chiefs that the Chiefs don't get called for a single penalty? The Patrick Mahomes, how many intentional or whatever unnecessary roughness, roughing the passer calls?
And then in the game we're going to talk about in a minute, the Giants game, you had the referees basically do everything they could to get Jackson Dart and the Giants down to score a late touchdown to win the game, and they just got Bo Nix at the end. Nix made 2 or 3 great passes.
Yeah.
For some reason, they didn't call any of those back. I'm surprised there weren't holding penalties, but they basically gave the guy more than 65 yards to get the Giants to the 1-yard line so he could be the big hero, because I think that's the next narrative. The next narrative is Jackson Dart is the next superstar. And you know, I mean, there was a ridiculous roughing the passer call. First of all, it was a fourth down play. May as well talk about the game now.
Yeah, we'll pull it up.
There was a fourth down play. First of all, there was a fourth down play. It was 4th and 19. They got 18 yards, and the referees gave them a first down, regardless of the fact that they were a yard short, quite obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Then they tacked on 15 yards for roughing the passer on basically a love tap at the end of the play. And then they gave them a 45-yard pass interference call to the 1 yard line. So the Broncos come back, they take the lead, and then the Giants are just handed the ball on the 1 yard line. So, you know, I think one of the first things that has to happen, Dave Bara, my brother suggested this, it's because of the corruption of the officiating and because of the inconsistency and because of the inability of even the honest referees, if there are any, to get the calls right. It's time to make pass interference 15 yards and an automatic first down, and that's it. And no more spot fouls unless you rule that a guy deliberately tackled somebody from behind to keep him from scoring a touchdown. It should not be a spot foul. It should be 15 yards and an automatic first down, and that will take a lot of this crap out of it. But you had that situation going. And there's one other little secret that nobody likes to talk about with the Giants and with the Broncos, and that's I watched this through the John Elway era. I watched the Denver Broncos get beat up and down the field at home for 3.5 quarters, at least a dozen times, if not 25 or 30 times. And then somehow, miraculously, somebody puts the ball on the ground, somebody fumbles a kickoff, somebody, you know, completely misses a tackle or something like that. And it's the altitude in Denver. This has happened so many times where teams come in, they don't come in a day or two early, and they're not prepared for the altitude, and they just run out of gas in the fourth quarter. So all the credit to the Broncos for coming back, but that's a huge advantage that Denver has that nobody likes to talk about. But yeah, the officiating in this league between the Denver officiating game, the Kansas City game last week, and the Seahawks game this week. And I just think you have to say to yourself, wow, it's time for a serious, not congressional investigation, because that won't go anywhere. It's time to start investigating the NFL officiating.
Well, I've been calling for RICO investigations into the NFL for a long time, congressional RICO investigations, because there's billions of dollars at stake. This is not some ticky-tack bullshit. This is mega money involved. The best video clip that I had of the day was ESPN talking about, I don't know if you all saw the clip, and I could probably pull it up in a moment here, but they're talking about how gambling used to be verboten, but now it's part of it. And they had some people from ESPN, they talk about gambling. They had that Bet ESPN logo on the screen, and while they were talking about it, they took it off the screen while they're talking. It is, you know, the cover up always gets you. It's one of those. But when you were talking about the Broncos, it was giving me flashbacks of Ernest Biner's fumble running into the end zone, and he gets the ball knocked out of nowhere.
That was in Cleveland, though. Wasn't that in Cleveland?
Those were both in Cleveland. And then
I'm talking about the Broncos.
Yes, at home,
up and down the field for 3.5 quarters, and then in the last 5 minutes, snatching victory from the jaws of defeat because the other team starts just making idiotic mental and physical mistakes. It just had happened.
Wasn't that the AFC Championship game, Brian?
It was the Ernest
Biner fumble.
Back-to-back AFC Championship games, and I believe it was Rich Karras. He still missed that field goal they gave to them prior to replays, unfortunately. Otherwise, maybe Bernie Kosar and the Cleveland Browns' legacy is very different these days. Who knows? Jim, what did you make of this? This is such a strange game. Broncos score nothing all game and then they hang 33 on the Giants in the fourth quarter. 33 and a quarter. That's Herculean, almost unheard of.
Yeah, this was a big number, though. This was a 7-point number, and throughout the whole game, it didn't look like the Broncos were going to come close, and they didn't cover the number. I mean, they were favored by 7. Mm-hmm. So, you know, there's two ways of looking at it. And one way is the points, and one way is the money line. If there were a lot of bets on this game on the money line, yeah, the Broncos went ahead and cashed because there's a lot of situations where you would put this game on a parlay knowing, and it's like Mike said, it's an altitude game, and players are just not acclimated to playing at 5,280 feet. And in order to get acclimated, you have to be there a couple of days.
Well, even more than that. I mean,
practice.
Jim, I'll tell you, I worked in Denver for a brief period of time, and I remember just going up a flight of stairs, like one level flight of stairs. You're out of breath halfway through because there's just no oxygen there, and it's like, it's bad. So yeah.
Yes. I went to a mining town. I think I told you this story. It's something Junction. It's not Grand Junction, but they were over 7,000 feet. And I remember we were on an extradition bringing back a suspect, and it was unbelievable. I mean, climbing steps, and I was running 15 miles a day at the time.
Yeah, just the smallest thing. Yeah.
And unbelievable. I mean, you're out of breath.
Was that London Junction, Colorado?
No, it's a mining town. It's above Denver.
Oh, okay.
It's probably 30 miles.
Well, let's watch the ESPN clip, Brian.
Yeah, this thing is
on that one, so we can see the logo at the bottom there.
It's check out bottom right. ESPN bet $10, get $100, and listen to this sanctimonious conversation. I guess these two guys are the gambling guys on their show.
Yeah.
Let's take a listen here.
It was something that leagues stayed far away from. It was something that networks like ESPN would stay far away from. Those days are obviously long behind us. You hear a lot about legal sports gambling on this show. The Bussin' Boys, obviously sports gambling is a huge part of what you do, so we put those all out there as a preamble because it might be in the back of people's minds.
Is that Ryan Clark sitting next to him? He looks right over at the guys like they did something.
You do, so we put those all out there as a preamble.
Yeah.
Because it might be in the back of people's minds, and we acknowledge that this is a different time and place. However, there is a fine.
The logo's gone.
This is so good. I love this sequence where he calls out the Bussin' Boys or whatever the heck that show is. Dude looks at him sideways, and they take ESPN bet.
The Bussin' Boys, obviously sports gambling is a huge part of what you do, so we put those all out there as a preamble because it might be in the back of people's minds, and we acknowledge that this is a different time and place. However, there is a fine line, not so fine. There is a bold line that obviously has to be drawn.
Draw the line. It's, I made this point on the T-Dam Daily Show earlier, Mike. This is so similar to legacy media, how they're beholden to their cash cows of the pharmaceutical industry. You can never air content that's going to question the efficacy or the people being harmed by taking the products because they're the number one funders of their content.
Yeah.
I think ESPN and these other sports organizations, they're quickly realizing they're getting most of their money through the gambling apps.
I say we go back to the 1990s and just let the cigarette companies sponsor everything because that's when everything was honest in sports.
The Winston Cup.
Yeah, with the Winston Cup and Rothmans and Formula One and all that stuff. Yeah, Marlboro and IndyCar, those were the days.
Those were the days. Anyway, Denver improves to 5-2. Giants fall to 2-5. That was maybe one of the biggest games of the week. Was there another biggest game of the week that you wanted to lead with at the top? Anything jump out at you? Or should I just go through the list?
Let's just go through them. Just zip through it.
Let's start with the Old Man Bowl, 33-31. The Cincinnati Joe Flacco's defeat the Pittsburgh. Aaron Rodgers is Cincy improves to 3-4. Pittsburgh drops to 4-2. And this is exactly what Coach Mike Tomlin was complaining about. Why would the Browns trade a Pro Bowl, Super Bowl MVP to a division rival in season? Because he knew that they had to play. And guess what? They beat him. What did you make of this game?
Well, yeah, I would say this is another situation where I can understand Tomlin not being happy about that, but they obviously did it for that reason. And, look, this game's worthless because the Bengals aren't going anywhere. Joe Flacco is not going to play like this every week. He's too old. He's too slow. It's not going to happen. He had a great game against what has to be, you have to say it's a really bad defense to give up 33 points to Joe Flacco. And the Bengals, as good as the Bengals are, he can get the ball to the good receivers on the team. That's a good thing. But the Bengals they're not going to consistently win. They're not going to be a playoff team. They're not going to win the division. So to me, it's just a throwaway game. It's just that one game out of what 7 that you're just not. Yeah, if you're the Steelers, you're just not going to play well, and they just didn't. And that's
I'll tell you what I'm weirded out by. How strange is it, Jim, that you have both the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens with terrible defenses? I mean, in my lifetime, I can hardly remember a time that's been the case, but the Bengals did enough to get the win here. And yeah, I mean, Jamar Chase set franchise records. There's just like, hey, chuck it to Chase. That's a good strategy, by the way. It worked for Joe Burrow.
Yeah, this game. I laid off this game. I didn't bet it. I didn't consider betting it. I mean, this game was. I mean, Pittsburgh. It's unbelievable how bad their defense is the last couple of weeks. I mean, they're both. On Thursday night, they're both miserable. I mean, the Steelers were 2-9 straight up on Thursday night, and the Bengals were 2-19 in primetime night games. So, where do you go with it? I mean, the only favorable statistic on this was that Pittsburgh was 12-5-1 against the spread versus the Bengals in Cincinnati, but that's not enough to bet the game. I mean, this division game, they're familiar with each other. No interest in the game whatsoever as far as a betting standpoint.
Yeah. Well, Joe Flacco hangs 342 yards, 31 of 47, 3 touchdowns. And this is after the Browns were unable to score 17 points all season long. He hangs 33 on them. Jamar Chase, 16 receptions, 161 yards and a touchdown. Those are video game numbers there. Congrats for him, and congrats to my fantasy team that had him. Well, I guess let's go to this one next. It's next in the list. The Cleveland Browns scored over 17 for the first time all season long, and they took down the Dolphins. Mike, would you call this a corner TV game, perhaps? But as a Browns fan, we showed some signs of life. We did some things well. Yes, it was against the Dolphins, but we got the win. It was very convincing. What say you?
Well, Dylan Gabriel only had 116 yards. You don't have your quarterback situation solved yet, but your defense is good. And my God, how bad are the Miami Dolphins? And how is Mike McDaniel still a head coach in the NFL? It's unbelievable to me. I didn't see a lot of highlights in this game. Judkins, what's his name?
Quinshon Judkins. He's a beast.
Had a pretty good game, only 84 yards, but not a bad game. But it just like, you guys, you played at home, your defense carried you. That's the way you got to win football games. But the solution has yet to be found at the quarterback position. That's where your season and your future is going to lie. But good for you guys, you got to win. So
I'll tell you what, they're doing something with Quinshon. They're calling it one group is calling it the Wild Dog offense instead of the Wildcat. And so they just snap it direct to Quinshon. He's the most talented playmaker on that team of the national champion Ohio State Buckeyes. He knows how to win. He knows how to find the end zone, 3 touchdowns. And so they're just direct snapping it to him on a bunch of plays.
The Browns only had 206 total yards and they got 31 points. Obviously there was 1 pick six. I don't know. There was another one that set up a short field, but wow.
Amber saying they did lose Hill, so that's probably the only reason that the Browns won. Yeah, I mean, look, you take away Tyreek Hill, it's not going to help your team, right, Jim?
No.
So maybe you're not surprised the Browns won, but are you maybe surprised we won by 25?
You take away Tyreek Hill, your team personality will brighten up a little bit, but your game total is not going to change. Everybody, all the bettors that I follow were all over the Browns in this game. This was like their bet of the week, and it opened at 2.5 favor of the Browns, and it closed at 2.5. So there was an even amount of money on either side of this game. Tua was 2-12 straight up as a dog, and he is 10-22 against the spread as an underdog. This game was just screaming Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, the weather wasn't supposed to be too favorable in this game. I didn't actually physically see the game. I don't know how the weather was. It was supposed to rain all game, but
No, it was fine.
was,
I didn't
it
notice any
was-
major weather, but
It was wet, and it was supposed to be like up 40-mile-an-hour gusts, but I think it was only 20. It was not good, and it was wet, but it wasn't as bad and as windy as projected a few days before the game. So, could have been worse. But yeah, I mean, Miami's not really built for that. Cleveland, being in the AFC what are we at? The North now. Supposed to be built for that. But yeah, Dylan Gabriel, not much, 13 of 18 on the day, no mistakes. But he, over the past couple games, he has thrown a couple that could have been turnovers, but we've avoided it. Yeah, Quinshawn's legit, 3 touchdowns. The problem is we don't really have any wide receivers. And I think Jerry Jeudy's battling an injury issue moving forward. So we'll see how it goes. But Tua's 3 turnovers, I don't know if that's necessarily an indictment of Tua or the offensive line or their lack of playmakers or our number 1 ranked defense. It's probably a combination of all 3 things. But yeah, Amber saying, I'm a Browns fan here, not trying to talk smack. I swear, in this house, Northeast Ohio, Browns and Bills all day. It's just, we're sad in these parts. I know, but we're trying to bring the Browns back. We can do it. I have some faith that we can turn things around. Maybe it's misguided. But anyway, Browns improved to 2-5 in a very winnable division. Only 2.5 games back. I don't think it's done yet. And I don't think the Steelers are a lock to win this thing. So we'll see how it shakes out. All right, let's move on to the Rams and Jaguars. Of course, I'm rooting for the Jaguars to lose, so the Browns get the higher draft pick, and they do. Jacksonville falls 35-7. My goodness, Mike. Matthew freaking Stafford. He's climbed probably above Baker Mayfield with this performance. 5 touchdowns, 0 screw-ups, and a lot of tight end action. What did you make of this one?
He only had 182 yards passing. They only had like 270 yards total, and they put up 35 points. My God, how bad are the Jaguars? And Jaguars didn't have a ton of turnovers either. Trevor Lawrence didn't throw an interception. They didn't fumble the ball away. I watched parts of this game. I woke up early. It was just miserable. It's just like the Rams only made a few plays, and it seemed like every single one of them was a touchdown. So it's just like, okay. Yeah. It was a crummy game. It was a crummy game that could have just as easily been, 21-20 as it was 35-7. It's just all the breaks went the Rams' way. Good for them. They win.
Yeah, they had people named Terrence Ferguson and Kanata Mumpfield catching touchdown passes. Of course, Devontae caught 3 of them. Jim, what did you make of this? The Londonage of the NFL.
The Londonage is 38-10-1 straight up. Teams that are favored.
38-10-1.
If the team is favored, which the Rams were favored by 3, their straight ups percentage is 38-10-1. 38 wins, 10 losses, and 1 win. Against the spread, 33-16. The story of this game is Sean McVay is very good in preparation. And as a result, he's now games played out of the United States. The last 3 games, Sean McVay is 3-0 in winning those games straight up. So he is a very good coach, and he gets his team prepared, and they're now 3-0 in Europe. So,
well, congrats to them.
Something to watch.
Fun fact that some people don't know about: the Rams used to be the Cleveland Rams, and the Cleveland Rams won the championship the year before they moved to LA. Fun fact some people don't know about. All right, let's talk about the Chicago Bears. They improved to 4-2 on the season. Caleb Williams gets the win. They had some good running. Monagai and Swift both punching it in on the ground. No passing touchdowns on the day for Caleb, but that's enough to take care of Spencer Rattler, especially when he throws 3 interceptions, Mike.
Yeah.
Bears win, improved to 4-2. They win 26-14 over the 1-6 Saints.
Rattler's stat line looks pretty good for a basically rookie quarterback until you get to the interceptions. The 3 interceptions gave the Bears short fields and allowed them to put up a few points. Their defense was good enough that they held the Saints to just 2 touchdowns, 26-14. Not much to say about this game. Nobody played really well except Chris Olave. And please, New Orleans, let's just trade Chris Olave to the Seattle Seahawks for a first round pick. pick. Let's just do that and get it over. And we'll team up Jackson Smith, Jigba, and Chris Olave, the old Ohio State teammates, and run with that. Let's do that.
Yeah, see, I'd be fine with him coming to the Cleveland Browns, actually. I keep hearing the Browns rumor is that Garrett Wilson, I don't know why, but Garrett Wilson to the Browns it's got legs. It's a rumor you're
Garrett Wilson to the Seahawks would even be more ironic because the Jets used the pick that we gave them for Jamal Adams to take Garrett Wilson. So that would be even more ironic. But yeah, thank you.
There you go. Jim, what was your takeaway from Bears Saints?
This game opened Bears favored 5.5. It was bought down to 4.5. So there was Saint money actually in this game. Historically, the Bears were not good playing the Saints, but this was probably compiled during the Sean Payton era. The Bears were 2-5 against the spread going into this game against the Saints. The overwhelming stat: Spencer Rattler is now 1-12 straight up.
Yeah.
In football games. So I don't want to jinx it, but if you're looking to make a car payment, the Saints are a good team to bet against if you want to take them take the other team on the money line.
Fair enough. Yeah. But Mike, you're still in on Rattler, or you're still okay with him?
I mean, look, you can't argue with 1-12. Okay. I mean, their Saints are not a good football team, but you got to look at this and you got to say to yourself, at least some of those 12 defeats are Spencer Rattler's fault. So, I mean, I like him, but maybe he's not ever going to be a real quality starter. Maybe he's just going to be a spot backup, a rally guy in the future. We'll see. We'll see how it develops. I'd like to see him on a good team. Would he still make the Saints?
Yeah. And that was 3 turnovers on the day.
Yeah.
It is tough. It's hard to evaluate talent. Like I said about Tua. Do we blame Tua for sucking? Do we blame his offensive line? Do we blame his lack of playmakers or the fact that they played the number 1 defense? All of it. It all plays.
Some of those throws you can definitely blame Tua for. I mean, he just made two of the worst interceptions I've seen in a long time. They were bad. Mm-hmm. They were Will Levis level bad. They were Cam Ward level bad.
Well, okay, that's a good segue to the Titans losing 13-31. The inverted score here in the Mike Vrabel Bowl. Tennessee Titans are close to the driver's seat at 1-6 for number 1 pick next year, fighting the Jets. And the New England Patriots, who the Browns play this week, improved to 5-2 on the season behind 2 touchdowns from Drake May and Ramondre Stevenson punching it in on the ground as well.
Our buddy Ramondre, I saw that touchdown. Way to go,
right.
Ramondre. Yeah.
That's right.
Patriots look good, solid. Vrabel took his revenge. Cam Ward had the soap dish pass into his own end zone. That's the Dave Craig soap dish pass. He was the one who made it famous in the 1980s, throwing the ball backwards as he goes to unbelievable that professionals can do this. Maybe it's a hand size thing. I don't know. But Cam Ward sure did not look like an elite player in that particular game. With plays like that, I don't even know if that had to be considered a fumble. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a really bad football team. And the Patriots came in and took care of business. So that's, I'm just starting thinking about the fact that just these 3 weeks ago, a month ago, I drove right past that stadium. It's a dump, by the way, in the middle of downtown. And they're building a new one right next to it. They have such a long way to go, the Titans. And Mike Vrabel really rubbed it in their face that they should never have let him go. He's the guy that at least he's a professional. Okay?
Mm-hmm. He knows how to win. And he joined the Cleveland Browns staff. If you recall last year, he was on the sidelines. Yeah. He was going from group to group to group, jumping in with the running backs, jumping in with the defense, jumping in with the quarterback. He was just doing it all just as an advisor. I don't know why the Cleveland Browns let him go. They picked Kevin Stefanski over Vrabel. Okay, we'll see how that shakes out. That's a bold strategy. Yeah. But yeah, Jim, probably not surprising that the Patriots took him down here, right?
No, this was the coaching change game. This was the interim coach game, and that stat was teams that change coaches mid-season. The next game they are 10-4 against the spread. This was not going to pan out because the Titans were 4-19 against the spread the last 23 games, and they're 0-10 against the spread at home. They're now 0-11 against the spread. The game opened beginning of the week. The Patriots were favored by 7, and it was bought down to 6.5, which means there was Titan money coming in on this game to buy it down 0.5 point. So this was one of my games on my 3-team parlay, and I did play the Patriots in this game.
Well, they improved to 5-2. Hopefully, the Browns can give them this strange upset this week. All right, Chiefs, Raiders. This one wasn't very close, Mike. 31-0. I mean, they bring back Rice, 2 touchdowns right off the bat. I mean, Rashi. How do you pronounce it, Mike?
Rashi's good.
Rashi.
Yeah.
Is good.
Travis Kelce and Rashi, right?
Kelce
and Rashi. I'm just telling you, Raiders fans, all you got. I still got you in my Twitter feed. I'm waiting. I'm just waiting for the perfect time. This may be it. I tried to tell you about Geno Smith. I tried. You didn't want to listen. Tried to tell you about Pete Carroll. You didn't want to listen. Okay. 2 guys that need to be out of the league. Geno Smith and Pete Carroll. 67 yards. They only ran 30 plays. That's one of the fewest totals, if not the fewest total of offensive plays in NFL history. The Seahawks had a -7 total yards game in the 1980s with Jim Zorn as the quarterback against the Rams, where they lost 24-0. They ran 35 plays in that game. So this is one of the worst offensive performances ever. I'm stunned that a Pete Carroll team with Geno Smith and quarterback didn't put up like 35 or 40 points. And here's another thing I want to say too, just to add this for you, Mark Schlereth. You guys got all over Russell Wilson for not scoring enough points against the Kansas City Chiefs. You know what? Kansas City has a good fucking defense. Maybe they're actually good. Maybe that's the problem. And the Giants don't really have much of an offense. Maybe that's the problem.
Them are fighting words. Yeah, the Raiders are looking lost out there in the desert. That's for sure, Jim.
Yeah. This game, the glaring stat on this game was that double-digit favorites are 20 wins and 2 losses straight up. This game opened at 11.5, and it was bought up to 12.5. So there was Chief money rolling in all week on this game.
Mahomes just was on cruise control in that game.
Right. And it was it was a shutout on the part of the Chiefs. I mean, 31-0. I mean, so if you were sweating your 12.5, you didn't have much to sweat. And I don't bet double-digit favorites. I laid off this game, and the only way I would bet this game is on the money line. But you're not going to get value on the bet for the money line. I mean, if you give up 12.5 points on a money line, even if you put this team on a parlay, you're only increasing like $100 bet, maybe $15, $20. So it's really not worth the risk. So stay away from those double-digit money line bets.
Yeah, but you would have covered.
Yeah, well, a lot of people argue a win is a win. So
again, how do some of these coaches have jobs? How does Mike McDaniel still have a job? How does Aaron Glenn still have a job? How does the Titans coach doesn't have a job? How does Pete Carroll still have a job? I don't know.
Well, Aaron Glenn still has a job because of ownership, and I think the Woodman is a little less ready to pull the trigger than the rest of the owners. But I don't think Aaron Glenn's the next one to go. I think I think Mike McDaniel is probably the next one to go. I had D'Amico Ryans, on the hit parade there for a while, and they didn't win the game, but they played solid.
Yeah, this is like a ghoul pool of firing coaches, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're here in Halloween.
Well, yeah, Brian. On the average, there's 5 to 6 head coaches that are fired either mid-season or by the end of the season. There's 5 or 6 openings every year in the NFL for head coach.
And we're at how many now? One.
One.
Okay.
One.
We have some other good candidates.
Yeah, we do. And my team, we'll see. Kevin Stefanski, Andrew Berry, GM, head coach. Are they tied together? Can you separate them? I don't know.
I don't know, Brian. I like Stefanski.
Well.
I think he's a solid coach.
I'm a little less than impressed, but we'll talk about that more as the season progresses, I'm sure. All right, let's talk about Minnesota Vikings. They dropped to 3-3, losing to the Philadelphia Eagles, who, guess what? They can throw the ball, Mike. 326 yards in the air, 19 of 23, 3 touchdowns, no stupid mistakes. Saquon only 44 yards rushing. A.J. Brown, 2 touchdowns in the air, but Devontae Smith has 9 catches for 183 and a touchdown with a long of 79. Eagles win 28-22, improving to 5-2 on the season.
And a perfect passer rating for Jalen Hurts. I mean, you can't do better than that. 158.3. It just shows you that all across the board. So they got tired of being told that they couldn't throw the ball and how awful their offense was. And so Jalen and the guys went back to work. They came up with a better game plan. They executed it, and they got, Carson Wentz, 2 interceptions, helped the Eagles tremendously. The Eagles just looked like a NFC defending champion against a pretty decent Vikings team on the road, but they pretty much manhandled it. So, good game for the Eagles. They're back on track now at 5-2?
5-2.
Back on track in first place, and they seem to have awakened their offense a little bit. A.J. Brown had 4 catches. So, all you can say about it is that, look, you're typically not going to beat the Eagles with Carson Wentz as your quarterback. And how bad must J.J. McCarthy be, because he's being held out deliberately? He is the number 3 emergency quarterback this last week. He's going to be the number 3 emergency quarterback this week. He's been cleared to play. And it must be so bad that they are saying we have a better chance to win with Carson Wentz than we do with J.J. McCarthy. Vikings fans, you should have signed Aaron Rodgers, Vikings, and you're back to looking for a quarterback next year. I guarantee you that.
Wow, that's happening. Aaron Jones will be coming back tonight for the Vikings, by the way. So I plugged him into my fantasy league.
You should have kept Sam Darnold, number 1, and number 2, you could have had Aaron Rodgers, and you went with J.J. McCarthy. Now what you got? You're 3-3 with enough talent to be a Super Bowl contender. That's what you are.
Well, can you hire a Harbaugh to be the coach, and can you steal the signs of the other team? That's what helped that team up north. That's what helped him win.
Don't start me with stealing signs. Don't start me with that.
Hey, I'm a Buckeye fan. I had to live with that crap. It was the most asterisk championship, the most fake championship since the Houston asterisk.
Oh, yeah, it should be taken away. It actually should be taken away.
Should have been taken away.
Given to Washington, by the way. It should be taken away. It should take it away, but oh well.
Oh, well. Jim, Eagles get back on track, win by 6.
Yeah, the interesting thing about the Eagles this year, as opposed to last year, is their running game. Saquon Barkley was averaging almost 100 yards a game last year.
Oh, yeah.
This year, it's 50 or less.
He's killing me. He's my starting running back that I'm relying on, and he's giving me nothing.
Yes, they don't have the running game that they had last year, and this is going to be Philadelphia's Achilles heel this year, is they don't have that running game. And as far as Minnesota goes, I know Carson Wentz is their backup, but he's not the answer.
2 interceptions.
He plays hero ball too much, and he panics and he forces his passes, and that's why he throws a lot of interceptions.
Yep. Well, that's crazy. So, Mike, you're saying it's a certainty that McCarthy's a third string. He's not even the backup. He's
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 declared
fully
the
cleared.
emergency number 3 quarterback for this week. Yes.
Yeah, so you're not on the roster, but if you have 2 injuries, you can jump in. I think is how they do that.
He's suited up. He's the 54th man suited up and can play. That's how bad he is. So
I think that's a good idea, though. Is this the first year they've done that? I'm trying. How many years have they done?
They used to do it, and then they took it away, and now they've gone back to it,
Okay.
where you could have an extra guy. Here, look. Here's the thing. This is the stupidest rule in the NFL. Okay, what the fuck? Why, if you got 53 guys on the roster, why can't you suit up all 53 guys? What you have to guess where you might get an injury at which position, and then deactivate a guy. Oh, let's hope we don't get it. I think we got enough corners. Let's deactivate 2 of our cornerbacks, and then you get 3 injuries at corner during a game, and you have nobody to play the position because they won't let you play all the guys on your roster. It's absolutely stupid. It's another stupid, idiotic Jeff Fisher idea. Oh, the competition committee. Well, because then a team might have an advantage if they have one more player available than the other team because of injuries. So we have to deactivate. It's stupid. It's absolutely stupid. And every player who's healthy should be suited up. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, but the 51st guy on your roster is not going to be the difference between winning and losing because you have 51 guys and the other team has 49 healthy. That's ridiculous. It's stupid. Why do we even have this stupid, idiotic rule? As a matter of fact, let's get rid of the fucking practice squads, okay? Let's go with 60-man rosters, pay these guys real salaries, and everybody who's healthy gets to suit up on game day. Let's do that.
See, I like the practice roster. It's like a minor league for the football team. I like having AAA. If you have a starting pitcher or a third baseman go down. By the way, I'm sorry about your Mariners. Can we address that?
Don't even start.
Dan Wilson won Manager of the Year, and it was in fact the manager who probably cost them the 7th game. So I said it all along. If they don't go to the World Series, it'll be because of the manager. Guess what? That's what happened. It happens.
I was
they had a World Series roster and a minor league manager, and he just won manager of the year for what?
The Guardians had a World Series caliber starting rotation and AA hitters aside from Steven Kwan and Jose Ramirez.
Yeah, it's sad. It's going to be 10 years before they can get back in that position again.
Ooh.
They had a shot.
All right. Well, let's bounce off of baseball before we put Jim to sleep. Let's talk about the Carolina Panthers. They get the win. It's a tough win, 13-6 over the New York Football Jets, who dropped to 0-7. Carolina's 4-3 on the year.
Yeah.
They're doing enough to get it done here, Mike.
They have a good defense. Bryce Young is not the answer, but they did figure out, run the ball. They ran the ball 36 times. They only got 125 yards, but that's a 3.5-yard average. That's average. They ran it. They kept it going. Bryce Young didn't make any major mistakes. That's the important thing there. He did have one fumble, but they did not lose it. So, and the story of this game is how completely awful the New York Jets are. They are the worst team in football. There's this clip of this kid coming out of the game saying, this team is killing me. I've had it. I think it might be an AI clip, to be honest with you. But Justin Fields is the worst quarterback in the NFL in terms of throwing the ball. He's just terrible. And you can't say anything more than that. He's absolutely awful. Tyrod Taylor or Tyrod, whatever his name is.
Tyrod.
Isn't any better. He comes in and throws 2 interceptions. He's terrible. Look, there's 2 guys out there that might be able to help you win a game. New York Jets. Those 2 guys are Kirk Cousins and Russell Wilson. So get on the phone and trade for one of them and win a few games. Draft a young quarterback this year and go with one of those 2 guys as your bridge quarterback and get rid of Justin Fields and get rid of Tyrod Taylor because they're just awful. And how does Aaron Glenn still have a job?
Yeah, I think part of the Garrett Wilson thing is we need a receiver. Shador wants to play. They need a quarterback. Maybe we package Shador. We get Garrett Wilson back. We add some draft picks. mix it all up and maybe do a relaunch. Who knows? Just
First of all, the Jets had 5 opportunities to draft Shadur and didn't draft him. So I don't know that that's gonna fly. And the other thing is you can't give up on Shadur because Dylan Gabriel threw for 119 yards, Brian? He's not the answer. The guy with the superstar upside, or the star upside at least, is Shadur Sanders. I would not do that if I was the
Oh yeah, by the way, I'm not advocating for it.
I would offer them Deshaun Watson an offer to pay his salary for the next 3 years if you just take him off of our team. But wow.
There's a non-zero chance that you'll see Deshaun Watson quarterbacking the Cleveland Browns this season, by the way. So
the Jets need to go get a real quarterback. And I don't care if it's Russ. I don't care if it's Kirk Cousins. Those are my 2 favorite guys. Now Flacco's been traded. Go get one of those 2 guys.
But at this point, why try to pick up some wins that could cost you the number 1 overall pick in your choice of every quarterback?
You cannot tank. I mean, as illegitimate as this officiating thing is, it can't be seen. You can't. There's probably laws against that. So you can't do that. You got to try to win the game. You got to look like you're trying. Go find your bridge quarterback for next year. And wow. And all these teams, guess what? Guess who you passed on? You passed on Sam Darnold. How's that look right now?
Go figure. Well, I mean, look, Bryce Young was kind of left for dead, and maybe he's not the answer, but he's got you 4 wins on a 7-game season. It's not the worst, Jim. He's getting a couple of wins. They're somewhat respectable. They're deficient in some areas, but Dowdle's playing okay. McMillan's playing okay. What did you make of this game?
Xavier Leggetti had a great game.
He did.
Yeah, this was the ultimate corner TV game. I mean, this game opened at 1.5 in favor of the Panthers. It closed at 1.5, and the Panthers going into this game were 2-17-1 straight up on the road. So now they're 3-17-1. Still not good. But against the spread, they're now 6-11 against the spread on the road. But Mike's absolutely right. I mean, the Jets are just terrible. Justin Fields is not the answer. Horrible. Yeah, this game didn't play the game. Didn't like the game.
Don't want to talk about the game.
No.
Well, I mean, I still had hope for Justin Fields up to middle of last year, but he has no feel for the passing game.
He did at Ohio State. He could air it out to those Ohio State receivers. I know he used to know how to throw it. I don't know how he's regressed, how he hasn't taken any steps forward. Yeah. Being on terrible teams probably doesn't help, but I saw him play very well at Ohio State. I'm surprised he has, but even CJ Stroud has regressed a little bit. So who knows?
There's no reclamation there anymore for Justin Fields. He's had 3 opportunities. He's never got the job done. He did better in Chicago than he did anywhere else. It's just time to stop thinking of him as an NFL quarterback. He's a 2nd or 3rd string guy.
And I think they signed him to a 2-year contract, if my memory serves me correctly. Good for them. All right, let's talk about the reclamation project of Daniel Jones, Indiana Jones. 2 touchdowns on the day, 288 yards in the air. Colts put up 38 points to defeat the Chargers, who fall to 4-3. Indianapolis improves to 6-1, the best record in the league. I guess it sort of missed me. I know every year we do like the celebration of the 72 Dolphins. They pop champagne when the team, there's nobody that can go undefeated. I just sort of missed that, I guess. Yeah. But the Colts are the closest.
Well, I think most of them are dead now, Brian. Most of those guys are gone. So,
there is some truth. I mean,
Nick Bonacani's not around anymore, so he was, he's not going to be there to do that. So,
all right, fair point. Well, you know who is around? Jonathan Taylor, 3 touchdowns on the day. He is definitely leading my fantasy team in my Yahoo league that I co-manage with my buddy Clint. He he was the only running back available that we felt like taking at the 12th pick or the 10th pick, last of the first round. And he's turned into the league MVP so far, at least at running back position. What do you make of this here? The Los Angeles Chargers are kind of like the most inconsistent good team out there, and the Colts are just sneaky solid.
I support Jonathan Taylor for league MVP. Again, he was on my radar and Dave Bara's radar when the Seahawks were picking late in the first round that year. I can't remember if it was 2018 or 2017, 2018. We wanted.
He was taken in 2020 in round 2 as the 41st pick.
2020. But the Seahawks had taken, I think they had taken Rashawn, what's his name? I don't know. Another running back who wasn't as good. And he's fantastic. And he is the league MVP.
Was it Penny? Rashad Penny?
Rashad Penny. Yeah, correct. Rashad Penny. I think they'd taken him the year before. But Jonathan Taylor just is an elite back. He's a rare talent. He's had some injuries, but he seems to be through all that stuff now. And as long as he stays healthy, for me, he's the MVP because he's allowing everything that Daniel Jones is doing because of the play action. And I've seen there's several touchdowns. He had a 65-yard touchdown, which should have beaten the Rams. Would have helped the Seahawks.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And it was taken away on a complete bullshit holding penalty. So, this guy's even better than his stats show. And just amazing player. The Colts, their defense is good enough. And, Justin Herbert. How can you have a bad game with 420 yards passing? Well, when you have 55 attempts, that means you're not really running the ball. They only had 54 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. Justin Herbert
led the Lightning Bolts in yards, 31 yards. That led the team.
He just keeps making the big mistakes on the interceptions, and Harbaugh's not curing him of that. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're looking for a different quarterback after this season.
See, Justin Herbert, after that big win against the Chiefs, people are like, oh, we got an MVP candidate. Oh, Justin Herbert settling into his role. Oh, look at this. Another.
Look at him.
It's just inconsistent. That's the story of them and that team and that quarterback, it seems. Inconsistencies. Jim, did you see this one coming?
Yes, I did. This was actually my 4th best pick of the week. I did not have this on my parlay because I just made a 3-teamer, but the Colts are a good football team, and Justin Herbert's problem is he can't get protection. I think Joe Alt didn't play in this game. He's expected back this week, but the Chargers they opened at being a 1.5 point favorite, and they closed as a 1.5 point favorite. So the money was kind of even on both sides of this game. Chargers 4-8 straight up now against a team with a winning record. So that says a lot. I mean, that's a 2-1 deficit on the part of the Chargers. But it's funny, people have stopped talking about Jim Harbaugh the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
People get very fickle, but that's what we do. We're only 7 games into the season. Every game means so much more when you're only 5, 6, 7 games into the season. It's a long season, 17 games now, and it balances, it calibrates. We were super high on Baker Mayfield. He had a tough game. We'll get to that in a moment, but it's too early to write people off. It's too early to crown anybody. What was that quote about crowning their ass? Not they are who we thought they were.
Yeah.
Dennis
Green.
There it is.
You want to crown
Dennis Green.
their ass.
Well, there were a lot of people who were burying the Dallas Cowboys earlier this season, but look, they doubled up the Commanders. Obviously, Jaden Daniels, this is going to be tricky. He's a very slight little guy back there. He's injured now. Mariota reining that team in, but Dallas hangs 44 on them. And of course, they had tons of injuries, but they still allowed 22 points here. Dak Prescott, 3 touchdowns on the day, no stupid mistakes. Javonte Williams, good on the ground for 116 and a touchdown. Mike, what did you take away from this one?
Dak was really good. and the Cowboys were surprisingly, Commanders aren't very good. And whether they have Jaden Daniels or Marcus Mariota at quarterback, they're just not very good. And they're not as good as we thought they were. They are who we thought they were. They're not who we thought they were, to quote Dennis Green. And I'm kind of licking my chops at the Seahawks coming out of the bye week this week and playing the Commanders next week. I think it's on the road. That was a game I thought they would lose. Now I think they can win this game because I just don't think the Commanders are playing all that well. They got to do a big bounce back, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. But good for the Cowboys. Good, solid game. It was the Dak show. Is the way I look at that game.
The Dak show, Jim. Does that sum it up for you?
This was one of the 3 games that I had listed as far as bounce back games. Teams that are respected in the NFL as good football teams, and they lose the previous week, tend to bounce back and cover the number. Eagles won and covered, Lions won and covered, Cowboys won and covered. Those are 3 teams that lost the previous week, and they came back and covered the number. This was my second favorite bet off the board. I went ahead and laid the 1.5 and took the Cowboys. They're just dominant against the Redskins. I mean, Prescott is 18-3 straight up against the NFC East. He's now 31-13 against the spread versus the NFC East, and the Cowboys are 28-1 at home. This game just screamed Dallas, and the number opened at 1.5 and it closed at 1.5. So there was even money on both sides of the of this game, equally on the Redskins and the Cowboys.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get the Daniels hamstring is ruled out for Monday's game. MRI on his hamstring injury, low-grade strain.
He's out.
Yeah, so he's out this week. I'm just trying to figure out how long.
As a Seahawks fan, I want him to play a week from Monday against the Seahawks because if he's got a hammy, he's not going to be 100%, and that'll make him easier to tackle.
Another glaring stat to remember, and I didn't have this on the list last week for last week's show, but the Redskins are 2-12 straight up against the Cowboys when Dak Prescott plays. 2-12 straight up.
Okay.
So this game, 1.5, I'll give that all day. This game just screamed Dallas.
Yeah.
Well, they did get it done. Doubled them up for sure. Hey, let's go to the Cardinals here. They're missing their quarterback. Jacoby Brissett stepped in, threw 2 touchdowns on the day. No mistakes, 279 yards in the air, a rating of 110.8. That if you're looking at a backup quarterback, that was a solid performance. Jordan Love did enough to get the win by 4. The Packers improved to 4-1-1. Arizona drops to 2-5 on the season. Josh Jacobs, 2 rushing touchdowns on the day, and Tucker Kraft catching one in the air from Jordan. Mike, Packers bouncing back, 4-1-1. Did the Cardinals lose this, or did the Packers win it?
Cardinals lost it because they suck. Look, this is a team with no leadership, all right? The Cardinals do not have leadership. Even when Kyler Murray's out there, Kyler Murray wouldn't have made any difference. He wouldn't have played a whole lot better than Jacoby Brissett did. He executed their offense very efficiently. But the bottom line is that this team, the Cardinals, cannot make big plays in big moments when they need to. They just don't. They don't make them on offense. They don't make them on defense. The Packers came in. They were soft. They were flat. Jordan Love had a bad game. And they still made the plays they needed to make in the fourth quarter to win the game because the Cardinals just don't do that. So write the Cardinals off. They're picking probably in the top 10 or 15 again this year. If I was them, I'd be looking for a quarterback. They just the whole organization has a lack of leadership.
Yeah. Call of Duty's not going to be there next year. He's pretty much made that clear in numerous interviews that he's done. I mean, he's just disinterested, and I don't know if any other team will be interested in picking him up. I mean, I would pick him up, to wear a visor and carry a clipboard. That's pretty much it. There are football players that love football, and there are football players that cash a paycheck and hit the gate. He is the latter of the two.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't love football.
Well, the weird thing looking at this here, seeing how Green Bay outscored them 14-3 in the fourth quarter when it counted.
Again, when the game matters, the Cardinals don't make the plays, and that's
Yeah.
the bottom line with them. They just don't.
Correct.
And they get the loss on the day. Packers get back on track there. 49ers get the win, doubling up the Falcons. 49ers improved to 5-2 on the year. Falcons dropped to 3-3 on the season. Mac Jones, no touchdowns, 1 interception. I think they're hoping they can get Brock Purdy back. I think someone sneezed. Bless you. Christian McCaffrey put in 2 touchdowns on the ground. That was enough for the Niners. And Michael Penix Jr., 1 touchdown to Bijan Robinson, Mike.
Michael Penix Jr.
Yes.
49ers
It's too
is
easy.
a goddamn one.
It's too easy, guys.
What, Jim? Well, you did see the thing where they put out a graphic with Michael Penix Jr. on it. The official.
No, I didn't.
They did.
Oh, you didn't see that? Yeah.
I'll look for it.
I can only call him that now because you brought that up, Mike.
Right. 49ers are so goddamn lucky. They're basically, a walking mash unit. They're lucky as hell. Every time they look, the Falcons, if this game was played in Atlanta, I would have taken the Falcons. I took the 49ers because the game was on the road. The Falcons are one of those teams that hasn't learned how to win on the road yet because their quarterback hasn't learned on the road yet. The plays you got to make. He's only in his 9th or 10th start, so I don't really blame him yet. But the reality is the Falcons are a little bit undercoached. They're very poorly prepared. And the 49ers just seem to hit all these teams at the right time. Basically, all they've got is Christian McCaffrey. If he gets injured again, like he does seemingly every year, their season is over. But they're hanging on now by a thread. They're grasping at straws. They're just every piece of luck has just fallen their way this year. They've won a couple games they should have lost. They probably should be like 3-3. Instead, they're 5-2. But it won't last. The bubble's going to burst. Something's going to happen with them. McCaffrey's going to get injured. He was their whole team this game. And they played the Falcons at home, and the Falcons are crap on the road. So it's just a whole combination of things. That's all I got to say about this game. Good for Christian McCaffrey is an amazing player. I'd love to have him. But you keep using him this much, it's not going to go well. And, I keep hearing about how great Robert Saleh is. What a great coach he is. Well, if he was a great coach, he would have done better with the Jets, first of all. He had Aaron Rodgers for a quarterback last year, and he couldn't win. They're just catching teams lucky at the right time. The Falcons just aren't very good on the road, and that's what happened.
Jim?
Yeah, this game was all over the board. I mean, this game opened on Monday, 49ers -3. It was bought down to 2.5, and then it was bought down to 1.5, which means there was Falcon money coming in on this game. The Falcons are. It's like Mike said. They're not good. They're 8-20 straight up on the road, and they are 6-15 against the spread when installed as a dog. So this game, I didn't play the game. It was probably my 5th best bet, but I didn't play the game. The 49ers, I think, were a bargain at -1.5. And Mike's absolutely correct about McCaffrey. The day McCaffrey goes down, the next game you bet against the 49ers. Because he is their best player. Hands down.
He's our whole team.
Shanahan's a good coach, and this team is held together right now, with spit and chewing gum, and he's doing the best that he can, and he's doing a good job. Love Shanahan or hate Shanahan, and wasn't he the offensive coordinator with the Falcons when they lost?
Oh yeah, let's talk about 2 and a half minutes to play. First down inside the 30-yard line in the Super Bowl with a 7.
And he let Brady and Belichick back.
And he throws the ball 3 straight times. Yeah, that's Kyle Shanahan. Yeah, he's the only offensive coordinator in NFL history who could make Darrell Bevell look smart.
Yeah.
Darrell Bevell of the Malcolm Butler throw the ball away on the 1 yard line.
Yeah, and then oddly enough, the Patriots kind of got their other Super Bowl the same way against the Seahawks, you know.
2 offensive coordinators have made the Patriots into the legend that they are today.
That is a fact, Jack.
Let's go to the Buccaneers and Lions here, fellas. You got some high potency offenses here, but man, the Buccaneers have been pulling rabbits out of hats for weeks and weeks and weeks, and it's finally caught up to them. It looks like this will now be the season that Mike Evans will not pass 1,000 yards receiving. Is this the first time in his career that he won't do that? He's tied Jerry Rice, the most of all time.
I think so, yeah.
He broke his collarbone, unfortunately, so he's out. Abuka has been dealing with a hamstring issue, and their other receiver, who's the other one, is out. Their offensive line is out, and look, they got beat. The Lions are a good team.
Chris Godwin's out.
Yes, Chris Godwin is out. That's right. So the Lions hung 24 on them, and Tampa only put up 9 points. Baker 1 interception to Tez Johnson with 1 interception on the day. Detroit improves to 5-2. The Bucks fall to 5-2. What did you take away on this one here? Jahmyr Gibbs looks legit for the Lions.
Oh yeah. Well, I would say, look, the Buccaneers gutted out a 5-1 record. They really probably weren't that good. They were probably more like a 4-2 team, or even 3-3. But they gutted out a couple of wins. They took advantage of Seattle's situation. They got a little bit lucky, but they gutted out a 5-1 record. And today, caught up with them. Just caught up with them injury-wise, and they could really use a bye week right now to get healthy.
Oh.
I don't think they have a bye week for a little while longer, but they've gutted it out and played really, really well. But they were due for a defeat, and they looked to me like kind of a tired, beat up, worn out team against just a younger, fresher, better Lions team, and they didn't win. And it's one of these games that you're a good team playing a good team. You've had a great streak where you went 5-1. If you can go 5-1 and then go 5-1 again, you're gonna be really happy at the end of the year. And but they just got to get rested. They got to get healthy. They need a bye week, and they'll be back to top form pretty soon. But it's just one of these weeks where you just played a team that just had a little more going for them than you did, and that's the way it goes.
Yeah, and a lot of the NFL is timing when you get somebody.
Exactly.
Do you get them with Joe Flacco or with Dylan Gabriel? Do you get them with?
That's the kind of point I was trying to make in the last game with the 49ers. They've just caught everybody at the right time, in addition to just having an easy schedule. So yeah,
and you'll find that in fantasy football too. We've talked about gambling, but it's just you could. Well, in baseball even. Let me just talk about. You'll look at the plus minus on the season, and you can see some teams. You're like, you're not even above 500 on your plus minus, but it's just a matter of when you get your big wins and when you squeak out your wins and have it balance out at the end of the year. Jim, Detroit and Tampa Bay, they've played each other in the playoffs before. And Lions have traditionally been the better team in the past couple of years in recent memory here, and they got the better of them today.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs?
I just hope we can win a game. Nice, Jim.
This is this game opened at 4.5, favoring the Lions. It was bet all the way up to 6 at game time. This was my third best bet on the board. This was my hedge game, and I was all over the Lions on this game. I went ahead and took the Lions on the money line, and I got greedy. I laid the hedge on the Buccaneers, hoping to hit the middle. And Mike and I discussed this, and if you hit the middle, technically you get your money back, plus you win the small ticket also. So I lost a small amount hedging the game, but that's fine. The Lions were this game just screamed Lions. I mean, the Lions were one of those teams, 13-0 straight up after losing a football game. 13-0.
That's solid.
So this game opened at 4.5, and it was bet up to 6. So there was a lot of Detroit
What's that?
money coming in on this game.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs?
Oh,
You
yeah.
kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
All right, so I'm going to leave that there for the next time you want to play that. All right, you can just leave it.
Jim's the best.
Jim, you're showing us a little too much skin there. Okay, we're seeing parts of you that only Regina should see. So come on, back off there. Nobody wants to look at that, pal. Come on,
Jim Moore or Jim Mitchell? Who are we talking about?
Jim Moore.
Playoffs. Belly buttons. Talk about belly buttons. I just hope we can get through the show. All right, let's jump to your favorite team, the Seattle Seahawks. You got the win. You won by 8, 27-19 over the Texas CJ Strouds. You got it done. The Houston Texans.
We got it done, but again, this is a very frustrating game for me. I was over at the Mitchell-Najigba abode for some pizza watching this game. We had some pineapple pizza, or at least they did.
Yes.
The gay pizza. But
Brian got the picture of the pizza.
Yes,
yeah,
I
you
did.
did get that.
Mike, did you see the thing I sent you about the chicken foot pizza?
Yes, I did, and I almost threw up. So
You should have. That was foul.
yeah, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Again, the safety. This game was consistently closer than it should have been, and part of that was officiating, which was really pretty bad, especially the safety. I mean, the safety. How you can take that safety away is beyond me. How anybody can even pretend that's not a safety.
Right.
The guy literally runs into the end zone and gets tackled there, and they say it's not a safety.
That was terrible.
That's crazy, insane stuff. So the Seahawks should have been up 19-0 at one point, and they weren't. And they had a missed or blocked field goal. They had numerous penalties. Jackson Smith-Njigba for the second straight week gets a completely unnecessary taunting penalty. He scores a touchdown and then dunks the ball over the goalpost, which is impressive for a 6-footer. But why the hell do you need to do that? You did it against Jacksonville. You spun the ball in front of a guy, and that was a momentum turner that made that game closer. So the Seahawks may be 5-2. You can't be unhappy with that. Literally, there's 2 plays where Darnold had his arm knocked. And other than that, they could be undefeated, but they just aren't playing that well. They make too many mental mistakes. Jim and I talked about this. Jim tried to scare me and say this game was going to be super close. It never really was. But they have issues. They keep playing the wrong running back. They're giving Zach Charbonnet 12 touches. He should have 1 or 2, and only if Walker is hurt. I don't know why he's out there. Yeah, Ken Walker leaves yards on the field, but he's a much better back. They've got to develop a consistent number 2 receiver on this team because it's all JSN. It's all Jackson Smith-Njigba over and over and over again. And he's been fantastic. He's one of the top 5 receivers in the league right now. You can make an argument he's the best receiver in the league right now, the way he's playing. He's making Sam Darnold look good. But if they lose him, it's like Christian McCaffrey. Seahawks lose Njigba, their offense goes into the toilet. And that's an issue. They're starting to get a little bit healthier in the secondary. But the other comment on this game is, my God, what has happened to CJ Stroud? He looks lost out there. And I think they need a completely new coaching staff. He has the talent. He's played extremely well. They just for some reason are not getting the most out of him. And he got, what do they have? 229 yards passing or something, 279. 229. That's just not enough when you have a guy like CJ Stroud. And granted, they don't have the best receivers, but that's a team that the Texans do not look like they know what direction they want to go in or how to get there.
Yeah, they fall to 2-4 on the year. Kenneth Walker, Charbonnet, that's killing me in fantasy football. I'm telling you what. I just miss the days where you had a bell cow running back. You'd give it to Emmitt Smith 30 times a game. You knew what you were getting.
They do little things wrong. Like Zach Charbonnet is simply not fast enough to run outside the tackles. He's just not. He's not going to beat anybody to the corner. I'm not sure he could beat me to the corner. He could probably beat me, but I'm old. So,
but you did stretch out this week, so
if you're
maybe you'll
going
be faster.
True. It's little things. If you're going to give him the ball, it should only be on straight up the gut runs. If you're going to try to run outside, then that carry needs to go to Kenneth Walker, Jim. And again, and they're not doing that. So again, it's all these little things that you notice about your team that are disturbing. So I'm happy to be 5-2, but there's a lot of room for improvement on the coaching side of things, I think,
Jim, what say you on this one?
Yeah, this game opened at 3.5. There was a Texan money coming in on this game. It was bet down to 3. The glaring number at this game is the Seahawks are very good on Monday Night Football. They are 32 and 13 straight up on Monday Night Football. So they like playing Monday Night Football, and yeah. I mean, Mike's right. I mean, you can't spend the whole game, giving the ball to Charbonnet. You can't depend on him.
Charbonnet.
Yeah, was this the game where the Jigba made the dunk over the goalpost?
Yeah, he dunked over the goalpost, and then so that's 2 weeks in a row he's had a 15-yard penalty. And those things hurt your team. You can't get away with that shit. And again, to me, this is a sign of a lack of professionalism at the coaching level.
Yeah.
The head coach should be fining that guy $1,000 or $5,000 or something like that and say, you need to stop this shit.
But JSN is a Buckeye. He's supposed to know better. I thought it was cool, but it shouldn't hurt your team.
He doesn't call him out in public, and that's what I want to see. I want to see this lack of discipline called out because the Seahawks are not good enough to win games on talent, Jim. They gotta play disciplined football, and they're just
we talked about that. That's the Tony Gonzalez rule. Slam dunking the ball over the. On top of that, he hangs from the goalpost. I mean,
well, it's a stupid rule, but and he sure looked good.
Yeah.
But,
it did look cool. I loved watching it. It looked so cool. But you dunk on that, you could twist that thing, and you got to pause the game, and you got to get people back out, recalibrating.
That's the reason they outlawed it, Brian. They not only were dunking the ball, they were hanging on the damn goalpost. It's like the NBA. You're not cool, unless you slam dunk and then you hang from the rim for 45 seconds, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
All right. Well, that wraps up last week's action. We can go to our betting trends of this week. Mike, you want me to pull those up? You got those? I don't know who has them faster.
I will share them.
All right. We will pull up your screen here. By the way, make sure you're following all of the things. This is the Unhappy Hour, specifically the Unhappy Hour Sports Show. This is the Strictly Football episode on the new American media because the old American media failed. Mike, tell people about your shows and where they can follow you as well.
Oh, Mike Bara 333 on YouTube. Also, Real News Live with Mike and Jen on Rumble are the places to find me. And Mike Bara Chat on Telegram, where I don't talk about football much, but I talk about lots of other stuff. And Seahawk Boy Mike B on Twitter. If you're going to do me a favor, do me that favor. Go follow me on Twitter and help get that football account going. I do drift into politics a little bit sometimes on that account. Jim, are we starting with Vikings Chargers? That's the first game, right? That's
the game this evening.
All right, there we go.
Vikings at Chargers. Chargers are favored by 3 points. This game opened at 3. It was bet up to 3.5, and it went back to 3. Over under on this game is 45. Vikings are 3-1 against the spread as a dog. The NFC North 39-25-2 non-division opponents. Carson Wentz. This is interesting. Carson Wentz is 7-0 straight up and 6-1 against the spread on Thursday Night Football. Vikings, the NFC is 23-13 straight up and 24-12 against the spread versus the AFC. Any comments, guys? Any interest in betting this game?
Well, I mean, I don't have time to go bet it because it's going to start in about 10 minutes, it seems like. But I'm going to definitely pick the Vikings. That
Phone
Carson
account,
Wentz-
Mike.
Well, okay.
You don't have to jump in the Volkswagen.
Yeah, so bet for me. So.
Next game, Dolphins at Falcons. This is an indoor game. Falcons are favored by 7.5. Beginning of the week, it's still 7.5. Tua is 2-13 straight up as a dog. The Dolphins are 10-23 against the spread as an underdog. The Falcons, this would apply to them. The NFC is 23-13 straight up, 24-12 against the spread versus the AFC. Favorites of 4 points or more are 35-13-1 straight up. So if you're looking at the Falcons to bet the money line, I don't like that half point. Teams that played Santa Clara the week before are 19-33 straight up the week after. And the Falcons played Santa Clara last week.
Okay, sorry.
Anything, guys? Nope.
Yeah.
Santa Clara. All right.
Yeah.
Next game, Bears at the Ravens. Lamar Jackson was seen practicing this week, so
You know what Lamar was also seen doing? Did you see the video?
no.
He was a late night at a I don't know, like a street taco thing. He looked about as blazed as Towley from South Park. He looked as blazed as Harold and Kumar. He looked as blazed as Cheech and Chong on his late night visit to the taco truck. Just
Maybe
by the way,
that's Lamar's problem. He's had a little bit too much fun with the old ganja this year. Maybe that's
just putting it out there.
All right, that's interesting. Bears are 16-33 straight up. By the way, the Ravens are a 6.5-point favorite in this game. That number has not moved. And the weather forecast is 58 degrees and cloudy. Bears are 6-23 straight up on the road. NFC North is 39-25-2 versus non-division opponents. And the NFC is 23-13 straight up, 24-12 against the spread versus the AFC. The Ravens are 1-5 against the spread this year. Lamar Jackson is 25-11 straight up. The Ravens are 95-31 straight up at home as a favorite. Lamar is 23-27 against the spread as a home favorite. The Ravens are 14-3 straight up after a week off. So this was one of the teams that had the week off last year.
Yeah, last week. Yeah.
Lamar is 8-11 as a favorite of 7 points or more. So if this game goes from 6.5 to 7, you'd want to take a look at that. Jackson is 24-3 straight up versus the NFC. Favorites of 4 points or more are 35-13-1. I'm not interested in playing this game at all, especially based on what you just told me, Brian, about Mr. Jackson.
I'm sorry, Mr. Jackson. Who I am for real.
Just as a side note, this week, teams that have the week off, the Cardinals, the Lions, the Jaguars, the Rams, the Raiders, and the Seahawks. 6 teams have the week off. So there's only 13 games this week.
Oh, by the way, you were asking, Mike, you brought up about the bye week, about the Buccaneers. They could use one. Week 9, they get their bye week. So week 9 for the Bucs, trying to get healthy. It's been an uphill battle this year.
Next week.
Yeah, next week.
Next game, Buffalo at the Panthers. Forecast is 64 degrees and cloudy. Bills are favored by 7.5 in this game. They are 20-7 straight up after a loss. The Bills are 14-12 against the spread. They are 8-0 straight up after a week off. Pretty strong number.
8-0, can't beat it.
Oh, Bills are 9-3 straight up versus the NFC. Favorites of 4 points or more are 35-13-1. And the NFC is 23-13 straight up, 24-12 against the spread versus the AFC. I would don't like the 7.5 here. I would, if you were going to play this game, I would put the Bills on the money line in this game. But seeing how they played 2 weeks ago in Atlanta, I'm not real excited about betting Buffalo, even though they're 8-0 straight up after a week off.
Yeah, they've been a little inconsistent too. We're talking about the Chargers. Bills are sort of in that category as well, and the Ravens just stink. It's kind of weird. I know every year we look at our schedule and go, well, it's going to be tough. That's an easy win. That's going to be a tough.
Yeah,
we're probably going to lose that game. It's like you never know how a team's going to perform, how the injuries are going to be.
You never know who the good teams are and who the bad teams are, right?
Yeah, so I never overdo it looking at the schedule in advance because it's like you don't know who you're going to get. But the Bills look mortal. I thought they were a lock to maybe go to the AFC Championship game. Maybe, maybe not. So who knows?
Yeah. Next game is New Jersey Jets at the Bengals. Bengals are a 6.5 point favorite. They opened at 6.5 and it's pretty much stayed there. Corner TV game, 59 degrees at game time and cloudy. Jets 15-29 against the spread on the road. Favorites of 4 points or more, 35-13-1 straight up. That's about all the stats I have on this game. It's pretty obscure. I mean, a lot of my stats went away because Joe Burrow being injured. A lot of these statistics, as far as Cincinnati goes, pretty much surrounded the way Joe Burrow was playing. So you take him out of the mix and everything changes.
But Joe Flacco is, he's a player, and Chase is a catcher. So we'll see.
Yeah,
and the thing about the Bengals, they were actually able to run the ball again for the first time in a while. They weren't running it for several weeks in a row, so that changed too.
Yeah, I was going to say because of the results last week, the Bengals may be a little overvalued in this game, but look at who they're playing. It's the Jets. So 6.5 looks like a correct number.
Right.
Next game, 49ers at the Texans. Texans opened as a 1.5 point favorite. They are still a 1.5 point favorite. I really don't understand this point spread. 49ers are 1-4 against the spread as a road dog. That may be the reason that the wise guys made the Texans a favorite in this game. The 49ers are 5-2 straight up versus losing teams. Mac Jones playing for Santa Clara has been only 3-3 against the spread. 49ers NFC 23-13 straight up, 24-12 against the spread versus the AFC. The Texans are 7-4 straight up at home, but the Texans are 0-4 straight up and against the spread versus winning football teams. So you can take the 49ers 1-4 against the spread as a road dog, and the Texans 0-4 straight up. They kind of cancel each other out. If I had to play the game, I would go ahead and take the 1.5 and play the 49ers in this game. Like Mike said, as long as Christian McCaffrey's still up and running, the 49ers have a chance to win the game.
True. Yeah, they just get it done week after week. They just find ways to compete.
Right. Browns and Patriots. Patriots are a 7-point favorite in this game. This game opened at 7. It is still 7 points. The only stat I have on this game, this is a conference game. They don't play each other too often, so favorites of 4 points or more are 35 and 13 and 1 straight up. So if you were to play this game, it would probably be a parlay on the money line as far as the Patriots go. Game time is 53 degrees and cloudy in Foxborough. Next game, Giants and Eagles.
Mike, can you switch it to the next page?
Yeah, I was just trying to absorb the Patriots Browns. Okay, yeah.
Well, the way to absorb it is the Browns are going to win it outright, but that's
Yes,
okay.
there you go.
Maybe that's just me.
Of course, should have known that.
A couple of weeks ago, the Giants beat the Eagles, so the Eagles are still a 7.5 point favorite. Game time 59 degrees and cloudy. The Giants are 21 and 15 against the spread as a road dog. They are 6 and 12 against the spread as a dog. The Eagles are 18 and 10 against the spread. Jalen Hurts is 18 and 1 straight up as a home favorite. Pretty strong number.
Mm-hmm.
The Eagles are, I believe they're one of these bounce back teams. How did they do last week, Brian?
They won. They dominated last week against.
Right. Eagles are 7 and 4 straight up versus the Giants. They're 11 and 0 straight up versus the Giants at home. So the last 11 years, the Eagles have not lost against the Giants in Philly. Favorites of 4 points or more are 35, 13, and 1 straight up. As far as betting this game, I don't like that half point. Division game, 7.5 points is just too many points. Any thoughts on this game, guys?
I'm betting this game. I'm taking Eagles on the money line. I know I'm positive they're gonna win, but remember, they're trying to make Jackson Dart into a hero. The refs are not gonna let this game get out of hand. But
Yeah, the Giants are one of those sneaky teams that they play. They should have won last week. I don't know how they found a way to lose. The Giants scare me.
I told
the
you
Giants
it was
scare
the
me.
altitude. It's the Broncos do not win that game if it's played at sea level.
That is a fair point. But this season with Scattaboo and I don't know, the neighbors and Dart, I don't know. I'm seeing something different out of that team than I thought. So
they're not gonna sweep the Eagles.
That game last week, Brian, you brought that up. There was a stat that I saw, but I did not write it down.
Okay.
There was over 1,000 games played in the history of the NFL. And with that same scenario and the team coming back from that far of a deficit in that short a time, that was the only game that happened in over 1,000 games with that same scenario.
It's 1 in 1,000. Yeah, one in 1,000 to come back from 18 points down late at some point in the fourth quarter.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
So you were either cashing your ticket or some fool sat there and tore his ticket up a couple of minutes before the end of the game. Buccaneers, they were a 4.5 point favorite at the Saints. This is a division game. This game opened at 4.5. It is still 4.5. The over/under is 46.5. So they expect this to be a high scoring game. Buccaneers 16 and 5 against the spread on the road. They are 3 and 1 straight up versus the Saints in New Orleans. Again, favorites of 4 points or more, 35 and 13 and 1 straight up. The Saints are 3 and 12 straight up versus playoff teams. That's teams that last year were in the playoffs, and the Buccaneers were one of those teams. Spencer Rattler is 1 and 12 straight up as a starter. The Saints are 1 and 5 against the spread as a dog. With the Buccaneers losing the game last week, I know they played the Lions. and they are going to be a little beat up. But I look for the Buccaneers to cover this number, the 4.5. Cowboys and Broncos. Go ahead, Brian.
I was just saying I do too. I
Yeah.
expect that as well.
Cowboys and Broncos. Broncos are favored by 3.5. This game opened at 3.5. It's still 3.5. 71 degrees at game time, partly cloudy.
At Denver, of course.
Denver. Cowboys are 3-0 against the spread as a dog this year. Cowboys are 5-17-1 straight up as a dog. The NFC is 23-13 straight up and 24-12 against the spread versus the AFC. The Broncos are only 2-5 against the spread in 2025. They are 19-27 overall against the spread, and they are 10-3 against the spread as a favorite. Bo Nix is 7-2 against the spread as a home favorite.
Okay.
Next game, Titans at Colts. This is a division game. A lot of points in this game. This game opened at 14.5. It is still 14.5. The Titans are 11-10-1 against the spread on the road after a loss, so that's kind of 50-50. The Titans are 4-20 against the spread overall. The Colts are 2-3 straight up versus the Titans in Indianapolis, but they are 5-0 straight up versus the Titans.
14.5 points. 14.5. Okay.
14.5.
You avoid the big ones. You're not touching this one.
No, I'm not touching. I'm not touching the points nor the money line, because you're not going to get any value betting the money line on this game.
Yeah.
The Colts are 5-0 against the spread versus the AFC. Favorites of 4 points or more, 35-13. Double-digit favorites are 11-10 against the spread, but they are 21-2 straight up as a double-digit favorite. Next game, Packers and Steelers. This is the Sunday night game. 56 degrees and cloudy in Pittsburgh. Packers are a 3-point favorite. They opened at 3. They are still 3. NFC 39-25 against the spread versus non-division opponents. The NFC is 23-13 straight up and 24-12 against the spread versus the AFC. The Steelers are 21-8-3 straight up as a home dog, and they are 9-2-2 against the spread when getting 3 or more points at home.
And Jim, I have a question. What's Aaron Rodgers' record against teams that cut or traded him? 2-0, undefeated.
Interesting, 2-0 undefeated. Yeah, I like Steelers getting the points in this game. I think the Packers are overvalued. I mean, they played the Cardinals last week. They eked out a win, but they didn't cover that number. They were favored by 6.5 in Phoenix. So I think the Packers are a good football team. I don't think they're a great football team, and I don't think they should be laying 3 points at Pittsburgh.
Wait a minute. Steelers are +3 at home. They're getting 3 points at home.
Correct.
I'm playing that fucking game. Okay, excuse me. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good hedge game, Mike. If you got a parlay,
That's going to be my hedge game.
I think Mike's Tourette's just jumped out. Ah!
All right, Redskins Chiefs.
Redskins Chiefs Monday Night Football game. This game's been all over the board. This game opened at Chiefs 10.5. It was bet up to 11.5. It's now 12.5. So it went to 12.5 because Jaden Daniels is not playing in this game. 61 degrees at game time and rain in Kansas City Monday night. Redskins are 16-11 against the spread. Again, NFC 23-13 straight up, 24-12 against the spread versus the AFC. The Chiefs are only 9-12 against the spread the last 21 games. Favorites of 4 points or more are 35-13 and 1 straight up. Double-digit favorites, 21-2 straight up. Again, putting this game on the money line. This would be not a bad game to hedge for this reason. And if you took the Chiefs on the money line on a 3 or 4 or 5, even 5 team parlay, and your other first 4 teams came in and you're depending on this game, it would behoove you to go ahead and take the Redskins and the 12.5. And the reason I say that is if you had a $100 bet, you could take the Redskins and get lay 12.5, probably even money, and you can middle the game. So in other words, if the game hit on 12 or below, you cash both tickets. Yeah. So that's the strategy in this game if you had to bet this game. But I tend to lean with Mike and go ahead and if you need a game on your parlay, I would play the Steelers.
Okay. There's a lot of games.
More value.
There's a lot of games I want to bet this week. But
right.
Should I be a complete degenerate and go with the 5-team parlay? That's the question. Or I actually could go with a 7-team parlay because there's 7 games that I like.
Oh, that's the definition of degenerate, right?
All right. Should we do last week's picks and this week's picks?
Oh God, do we have to start with you being 14-1?
We do. I was 14-1. The only game I missed is the Steelers game, which is kind of a fluky thing that happened. But
always bet on Flacco.
Absolutely. Yeah, always bet on Flacco. Yeah, exactly. I just killed it. I mean, Chiefs, Raiders, I had it all. I had Cleveland. I had my Seahawks. I had the 49ers. I correctly called that Atlanta was going to be shit on the road. I'm proud of myself for that. So there we go. Let's jump on now. I'm got to be in the lead again. Let's jump on to week 8 and take a look at tonight's game. Vikings, Chargers. I just like the Vikings. I don't think Wentz is that good, but I think that the Chargers are equally not good. The Eagles kind of manhandled the Vikings last week. I think they're going to be mad. I think Justin Herbert's in a slump right now, and he's not out of it yet. So until he comes out of it, I'm not betting the Chargers. They'll probably win because of that. Bills versus the 4-3 Carolina Panthers. The Bills are a much better team, so I'm just going to take the Bills in that game. Chicago, Baltimore. I don't like this game. I just don't see Chicago being consistent enough offensively. Caleb Williams, I love him, but didn't play that well last week. I think the Ravens at home, regardless of how baked Lamar is, probably squeak this one out over the Bears at home. Cleveland at New England. I hate to tell you, Brian, but I think you guys are setting up for another L. I think Vrabel's got them playing very well. I think Drake May is very under control. I think you have enough offense to score enough points to beat New England. Miami and Atlanta, the crummy game of the week. 2 left-handed quarterbacks. Michael Penix is the superior. I think the Falcons bounce back at home. They play better at home. They win that game. New York at Philadelphia, there is no way that they get swept. The Eagles get swept, the defending Super Bowl champions, by the New York Football Giants. I do believe they're going to they're going to this game is going to be close. I wouldn't touch the betting line on it, but what was it, 6.5, Jim? Not touching that, but I'm definitely taking the Eagles on the line. New York at Cincinnati. Until New York wins, you can't bet them. I think Flacco continues the momentum from last week, and he scores enough points to beat the Jets. The question is, what is enough points? I'd say 3 is probably enough points to beat the Jets, but there we are. San Francisco at Houston. I'm just not impressed with Houston. They just aren't impressing me. I think the Santa Clara 49ers get another lucky draw. They're catching a team at a bad time. Christian McCaffrey is healthy going in. I expect them to comfortably win that game. On the road, Tampa Bay at New Orleans. Again, I like Tampa here, the Buccaneers, for all the reasons Jim cited. I think that they're tired, but they're going to bounce back against just a not very good Saints team. Dallas at Denver. I'm going to take Denver at home, primarily because of the altitude. I hate to tell you this, Izzy, but I just don't think the Cowboys have enough juice to go in there and beat the Broncos. Although the Broncos gave up a lot of points last week to a not as good offensive New York Giants team, but they had the refs on their side. The Giants did. Tennessee at Indianapolis. What a rout. That's going to be the Colts. Steelers at Green Bay. I'm going with the Aaron Rodgers revenge tour. He's 2-0 against teams that cut or traded him. I think he goes 3-0. Green Bay just did not look that good against the Cardinals and the Steelers. However, they may not be that great, but they are definitely better than the Cardinals. Washington and Kansas City. Everybody knows who's going to win that game. It's going to be the Chiefs. They're on a roll. They got the refs on their side. And Jim, I'm going to reveal what I think I want to bet. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I'm taking the Bengals and giving the 6.5 because I think that's an easy win against the Jets. I'm taking the 4. If you're going to give me the 49ers and 1.5 points, I'm taking it. I like the Falcons on the money line. I think they win. I like the Eagles on the money line. I like the Buccaneers on the money line. And my 2 hedge games are the Colts. And I don't know. I might throw the Steelers into this. I might make this a 16 parlay and see if I can get lucky because the Steelers, if you're going to give me 3 points against the Packers, Aaron Rodgers, I'm thinking I'm taking that. I've got to get down there. I got to get up there to the casino tomorrow and get this laid out. The question is, how much am I going to bet? How much is in my bank account? And am I going to be a degenerate and go with a 5-team parlay or a 7-team parlay? Or what am I? I mean, look, if you have confidence in your convictions.
Just something to consider if you were thinking about taking the Bronco game or the Colt game. You could take the Colt game as a hedge game because the kickoff at that game is not until 1:25 p.m. And your morning games could be done, but you're going to have to be standing in the sports book because you don't have your phone account set up.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, Mike, you can set up your phone account. I also, can we add Jim to the Pick'em? I think you're the admin on the league. I tried to last.
I did send him an invitation. I sent him one. Yeah. Absolutely.
Jim, did you accept the invitation? Since you're ragging on Mike for not opening his account, did you open your email to accept the invite?
You know what? I don't want to throw it back to Mike. He was over here for the football game. He was supposed to show me how to do that.
Oh, we were so busy playing with your dog.
I have the email. Is it my turn?
It is your turn to go caveman style. I think Mike has pole position now in the league. You've really
doing
come on like
caveman. I was 12-3 last week.
Woo!
Respectable.
Damn, that sucks. You went 12-3 and you didn't win the week. That sucks. Sorry.
I didn't win the week, but I didn't win the week, but I won my parlay ticket.
Hey,
all right, that's
Mike
what's
Bara,
important.
It's got Mike Bara. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, Jim.
And by the way, Jim, that has you at 68-40. We are tied now, 68-40.
That's respectable.
Yeah, it's all right.
Is Izzy putting in his picks?
Yeah, not as respectable as 73-35, but it's respectable.
Okay.
I'm going to text him to make sure.
Let me know when you're ready, Brian.
I'm ready.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and go with the Chargers at home this week. Carson Wentz is not a good quarterback. And
breaking news.
They're supposed to get Joe Alt back this week, so I'll go ahead and I'll take San Diego. I like Buffalo against the Panthers. Panthers won a football game last week. They're going to come back to earth. The Bills need to win. I mean, this is a must-win for Buffalo. I will take even based on Brian's narco report. I'll go ahead and take the Ravens to win.
You know what? Let me do that. Let me pull it up here because I did find the clip. I want to show you. Lamar has denied these unfounded social media accusations, but take a look for yourself.
I'm over the top of this. Found just put up on me real decent, man.
Oh yeah, let me show me thinking.
How you feeling, Woo?
Feeling good.
How you
Dude,
feeling?
he's got the munchies. He's totally.
Yeah, I was just gonna say he's got the munchies.
Really heavy eyelids.
Yeah.
Nice sound.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all been there, right? Late night, wanting a bite of food. All right, they got music, can't play it.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what it was.
Yeah, we'll have to do a vertical gaze nystagmus test on him. Yeah, he'll be fine. I will go ahead and take the Patriots against Brian's Browns. We're going to go with the Ramondre Stevensons. The Falcons will they will beat Miami. I don't think they'll destroy them. I will take the Eagles revenge game against the Giants. I will take the Bengals. I agree with Mike. The Jets are just ass. I mean, they're not a football team. I will take the 49ers to beat the Texans in Houston. I will take the Buccaneers to bounce back against the Saints. I will take I'll take Denver against the Cowboys. The Cowboys are 5-17 as a dog, straight up. I will take the Colts to destroy the Titans.
Yes.
And we talked about the Steelers. That's a no-brainer. And the Chiefs, that's a no-brainer against the Redskins. The Daniel-less Redskins.
All right. Well, there goes the caveman Stiley of Jim Mitchell, everybody.
I still have that email, Mike. I'll do it.
Oh, you can do the email from there? Good. Now we just got to get Izzy to do it. Did you invite Izzy, or can you send me the link? I could send Izzy.
I sent everybody.
He sent it to Izzy last week. Yeah.
I believe that. It's all just babysitting after that, I suppose. All right, let's take a look at my last week. I was only 9-6. It sucks to be 3 games over 500 when I'm against these two sharks, these two Vegas insiders. But it's okay. 68-40 on the year. Yeah, last week was tough. I don't need to relive it. Let's just go to week 8 here, and I'm going to make all the winning picks. I might finally have the first perfect week ever. Minnesota, Los Angeles. Oof. I'm going with the Chargers on the snapback here. Buffalo is going to take care of Carolina. Chicago is going to beat Baltimore. Cleveland is going to beat New England. You heard it here first, folks. Cleveland will beat New England. Atlanta's taken down Miami.
9-6 every week, Brian. Sorry.
This is why I'm 9-6, because I do the Browns.
You're 9-6, yeah.
Well, okay. I mean, you're not wrong about any of it. But I'm a super. I'm Homer Simpson, as a matter of fact. I'm going to take Philadelphia taking down the Giants, but man, they scare me this week. I know, Mike, like you said, they're going to sweep them, but something about the Giants scares me. Anyway, I'm going Eagles, but I'm worried about that one. Cincinnati will beat the Jets. San Francisco is going to beat the Texans. Tampa's going to beat New Orleans. Denver's going to beat Dallas. Indy's going to motorboat or steamroll the Tennessee Titans. Ooh, Green Bay Schittsburg. I'm going to take Kansas City over Washington and then back to Green Bay Schittsburg. I'm going Green Bay on this one. Going Green Bay. Those are my picks. I think I'm going to have the first perfect week in the history of us doing this. Call me crazy,
right,
but I think we got this. And that concludes our betting prognostications for next week.
All right.
Okay. Well,
I'm going to go watch it.
Yes, go do it. Any final words, any final thoughts, anything, any upcoming events you want people to check out?
I will be at the Pahrump Alien Conference on Saturday in Pahrump, Nevada, just outside Las Vegas, about 35-40 miles in Nye County, where everything is legal, as Jim will tell you. And I do mean everything. And I will see you guys there. You want to come out? It's a free event. And I will be at the Kiss Tribute Band show tomorrow night at the Tuscany Suites Hotel in honor of the great Ace Frehley, who passed away.
Rest in peace, Ace. Indeed. Jim, final thoughts?
Remember, if you steal from everybody, it's research. If you steal from one person, you're a thief.
Wow, that was like an artificial intelligence, a chat GPT kind of thing right there. I'm reading between the lines. Nicely done. By the way, pick your winners for the World Series since we're getting things started.
Dodgers in 4.
Yeah. Yawn from you. Okay.
I
Sure.
gotta mow the lawn, Brian.
All right. And Izzy, I'm sure, is going to take the Dodgers as well. I'll take the Dodgers too. Thank you all for being here. This has been Strictly Football. We will see you next week, maybe on Tuesday at 6 o'clock normal time, perhaps.
Maybe we'll do Thursdays. I don't know. Let's talk about it.
Maybe Thursdays could work. Okay.
Get well, Mr. Robinson.
Yeah, feel better, Izzy.
Yes, Izzy, this goes out to you. Thanks again. We'll see you next week, everybody. To be continued. We'll talk to you later. Peace.
Hi, this is Eric Metcalf, and you're watching Unhappy Hour.
The New American Media is proud to present a division of the Unhappy Hour Sports Show, Strictly Football.
It's the Unhappy Hour.